Hi everyone, my name is Alex, and my house is a garbage dump, even though my ancestors are very wealthy people. How did this happen? Well, it's very easy. I'll tell you all about it now, while you sit down and watch. My parents are just sick of money. They were obsessed all their lives, and maybe that's why we lived like crap. At first, we were really starving. But one day, my dad decided to try his luck and bought a lottery ticket. Oh, it was amazing when we found out we'd won a whole million. Now and then, we made a list of what we would buy when we got it. Dad and Mum looked at a new house, a car, and I picked out my phone and other stuff. But when payday came, my parents said they wouldn't take me with them. I was offended. Well, why not? We had decided to go there together. They said there would be journalists there. I would like to shoot on camera. Dad and I decided to get the money anonymously. Why? So people won't know we have money. So what of it? They will come and ask, but we do not need it. We want to buy the things we need, finally renovate the house, and live like normal people. And what does it have to do with me? You will get on camera at a bad moment, and there will be a live broadcast. Really? Is that the only reason? Stay at home and that's it. Okay, as you want. I was uncomfortable, but money is more important since my parents decided so it's necessary. I waited for them all day and finally they came. They were both upset about something. I ran up quickly and asked them all sorts of questions. Did you get it? Yes? Did you get it? How did it go? Son, we didn't get anything. We're sorry. But how come? How come you didn't get it? Why? It turned out to be a mistake. Our ticket was a no-win ticket. One digit didn't match. But what about 6578, right? 6678, it turns out. That's too bad. And I was already dreaming. So were we, son. So were we. My parents went home and I called my friend Lewis and told her the news. She and I got along great. We'd been friends since we were kids, so I told her everything. Lewis was just sympathetic, and then she said, Wait a minute, what was your number? We had 6578. Wait, my grandma's a bingo fan too. She was watching the show today, and she always records the winning combinations. I can check on her tape. Oh, come on. Lewis was gone for a couple of minutes. Then I heard her rustling the papers, picking up the phone and saying, Dude, number 6578 won $1 million. No way. I'm telling you, I'm looking in my notebook right now. So that means that your folks screwed you over. But why? Find out from them and then tell me. It's interesting. I gotta go feed my grandma. Bye. She hung up and I was left alone to think, what the hell? I didn't run to my parents and make a scene. I just quietly crept under the door and heard them talking. And then I heard the familiar rustling of money. Suddenly, I was more offended than ever because it meant that my parents did not trust me. They did not squeeze the dough, they lied to me. Just not to share it. Did they really dislike me that much, or were they up to something? The next day, I pretended to go to school, but I waited behind the house next door. My parents were just pulling out. I followed their car in Lewis's car. She pulled up behind me, playing hidden agent. Dad stopped at the auto store and they hung out there for a long time with Mum. And then he drove out in the new car and Mum followed in the old one. What? They bought a car? Do they really think I won't find out about this? And this just keeps getting better and better. That's just crazy. There was an old car in the garage last night. It was like there was no new one. A week later, they were looking at real estate. Then Mum went to the beauty salons and brought dresses. The whole time I was watching them, even skipping school for it. One evening, I went up to them and asked them to update my phone, but my parents refused, saying there was no money, and then I burst out. No money? And what did you buy the new car with? What did you buy the new house for? Who's going to live there? Or will you move there without me? My dad and Mum were stunned. At first, my mum asked why I didn't go to school, but I couldn't change the subject. I started to get inflamed, and my dad told me straight out that yes, they cheated me for my good. You didn't squeeze me for my phone. What other good is there? You spend a lot of money. Sometimes we do not have time to give you pocket money, so we decided that if you find out about $1 million, you will spend it all in 2 months. No way, a week. That's what we are talking about. No, Mum, I wouldn't spend it. That was sarcasm. I can teach you how to use it for free. So that's how, huh? Do I spend too much money? Okay. Okay, what? I got it. I said nothing and went to my room to pack. I took only what I could fit in my backpack and left the house. I didn't even answer my parents' questions about where I was going. They followed me. I went out into the yard, made myself a blanket, and lay down next to our trash can. What kind of circus is this? Get up, you'll get sick. And you'll have to spend money on my medicine, right? Fine, as you want, we'll leave him. He'll come home when he gets hungry. My parents left, and I was even more indignant. But purely as a matter of principle, I stayed. Thus, I lived in a dumpster. It was a good summer, but I still froze. In the morning, I went inside, washed my face, and went out again. At school, I told Lewis about everything. She called my idea stupid, and then offered her lunch, which I gladly ate. On the 3rd day of being homeless and completely ignored by my parents, the neighbours started looking at me sideways. On the 5th day, they started asking my mother questions. And do you know what she said? That her son had decided to try an obscure tic-tac-toe challenge. So I was out there starving, freezing for my principles, and then I hear this. I freaked out, stood up, and shouted the whole truth. That my parents had squeezed a lemon of greenbacks for their son, which they won. There was silence, and then the neighbour left, and my mum stood there and covered her face with her hand. What have you done? The truth, I said. You don't understand what will happen now. And what will happen? I really didn't understand, because I didn't know. After 3 hours, the rumours spread all over the street. But I had no idea that my father had huge debts from previous years. In the evening, some men in masks and black suits came to us and said that if Dad didn't give us the money, they would kill us. Dad immediately gave them what they asked for. A day later, a second, a third came. A week later, there was nothing left of our winnings. Dad and Mum sat around crying. Mum, Dad, I'm sorry, I knew it. You ruined everything. How was I supposed to know? What am I, a fortune teller? We wanted to buy a house and a car, rent it out, and use the money to pay off our debts. And now it turns out they took everything away from us, all thanks to your long tongue. Oh shit. Well, that's how we ended up with nothing. Dad and Mum didn't work. I went to school and had college ahead of me. But because I decided to show off, to show principles, we lost everything. That's why my parents preferred to hide the fact that we had money. How did we live? I got a part-time job cleaning garbage from neighbouring houses and neighbourhoods. My mum went to work in a store, and my father went to work at a pharmacy as a security guard. Life was a real raspberry, but what could you do? That was the price. We survived as best we could, and then I brought home 2 lottery tickets, and we decided to try our luck again. The first one was blank. When I erased the second one, I was stunned. It was 50,000. We were very happy. It wasn't $1 million, but the money was definitely ours. We no longer had debts, and we could spend the money the way we wanted. Son, since you won, you're the first one to choose what to buy. You know what, Dad? At least let's buy a car and rent it out, just like you wanted. Are you serious? Yes. Let the money work for us. I understood that it's bad when it sits idle. Too many problems appear afterwards. So we did that. We bought a car, which I chose myself, and it began to bring us an income. A few months later, my mum won another 10 grand, and we realised we were just lucky. Since then, we've been buying lottery tickets and putting money into circulation that worked for us. I know for sure that luck is on our side. The main thing is not to scare it off in any way. Shh. What would you do with the $1 million you won? Would you tell anyone or keep it a secret? Come on.
What a day. Do we have guests again? And just when I want to sit in silence, our house turns into a square where there is a free concert. Mr. Evans, good to see you. You look tired, the doorman said politely. Thank you, Henry, it's good to see you, too. And yes, I'm really tired. How long have the guests been here? Exactly 2 hours ago. My dear mother's idea again, you're absolutely right. Yes, she's in her usual. Is your father home? Will you be having dinner in the bedroom? Oh, Henry, I'd love to, but you know my mother, she won't let you relax in her own house when we have guests. Thanks for the care. Have a nice evening, sir. Meet me, this is me. My name is Dick. As you have already understood, I am the son of rich people and I do not always like it. And despite the fact that everyone keeps saying that happiness is in money, that I have everything, and I do not know the words need and hunger, I will tell you directly, and with absolute accuracy that happiness is not in money. At least not only that. Why? You'll see for yourself. Hi son, you're late today, how are you? Hi mom, yes, I had some business. In honor of what guests? In honor of politeness and companionship, son, you should understand. Again father forced. Not forced, and proposed I supported. You know, he works hard to make sure you have everything. The reception is only a small part of what you can do for your family. So smile. Maybe I need your money. Sorry, what? As you can see, I don't like all these tricks. My father constantly arranges them with my mother, because only in such an informal, as he says, environment, he can normally communicate with investors, clients, colleagues, and so on. My mother always supported his initiatives. They kept saying they were doing it for me. But no one asked, what do I really need? I was in a terrible state that night because I was so tired. The bad mood was finished off by the reception, and I thought it could not be worse, but it turned out to be when Josh came into my room. Josh? What are you doing in my room? Dickie, you need to be more hospitable, especially to me. What do you want? Get lost. You've been missed here. Come on, you know your father and mine are about to start a major new construction project. It wouldn't be nice if you hurt your father's partner's son. Especially considering the fact that my father contributes a larger percentage of the investment than yours. That's their business, not ours. Don't call me Dickie and get out of my room. Hoity-toity, is our Dickie still mad? Come on, we were friends once, remember? Decided to be friends with homeless people. The moment Josh spoke to me, he was standing with a glass of something strong in his hand. I knew he was drunk, but I can't let go of the situation that destroyed our friendship. Oh, man, Dickie, that was some beggar girl, and you stood up for her like she was your own. You bullied the poor girl, disgraced her, made fun of her. How did you even think of that? If she has no money, then she is nobody. Then she is a beggar and not our equal, brother. Don't call me that, okay? You're not my brother. Ah, is that so? What about our friendship? We've been friends for 10 years. Or it doesn't mean anything. The money has turned your head. Money has given me confidence and everything I want. This is my life, Dickie, and this is what I want. And you're probably confused about yourself. That lost. I won't talk to you about it. Yes, Josh left, but he was really hurt by that incident at the gas station. I stood up for the poor girl he bullied and laughed at, and he thinks I betrayed him or traded him away. In any case, we did not agree, but our fathers do not know about it. After all, they're partners, and if they find out about Josh and me, it might be bad for the business. Josh's father was richer, and my father indulged him in many ways, just to keep in touch with him. Josh knew about his father's influence, and that's why he was so famous. Auntie, did you make lasagna just for me? You're a miracle. I know, my boy. Eat, or you've lost weight this week. While I was eating, Josh came into the room. It's him again. He looked at our servants with undisguised disgust and then turned to the cook, Antoinette. He pointed at her and ordered her to cook him a chop. You're not in a restaurant, Josh. Ask politely and apologize, I told him, but he wouldn't listen. If you always protect the poor, you'll be the same, he told me. Apologize to your aunt, I demanded, but Josh wouldn't listen. He walked over to his aunt and threw her lasagna on the floor with his hand. And I couldn't help myself. I threw myself at Josh, knocked him to the ground, and we got into a fight. We broke a lot of dishes, attracted attention, and our fathers were in the first rows. And then my mother came over. Boys, stop it, my mother shouted. We stopped abruptly at her voice, and I could tell by her face that we had better go outside. All the guests abruptly left, and we were left alone in the living room. I knew I was in for a good fight, so I wanted to dilute the situation a little. Why did everyone leave? Because I didn't share the lasagna with them. Not funny, Dick. Do you have any idea what kind of concert you're doing there? Not only that, my father will now have to apologize to Josh's father for a week. So don't apologize. What did you say? Don't apologize. If you don't like it, why do it? My words must have sent my father into a fever. He flew into the room and started shouting that he and my mother were doing all this for us, that my whole life would be secure, and that I should be eternally grateful that I was born into a rich family. But you know what? I wasn't happy. I'm tired of all this. It is more expensive to remain silent, to endure and to agree in everything. How much is your position worth? Is it possible to buy your opinion if you consider yourself 1000% right? My father punished me and sent me to my room. But that wasn't the end of the story. Thanks to my fight with Josh, I went to visit them the next day with an apology. The door was not open for me for a long time, so I entered the house through the back entrance. Absolutely. We have them in check now. Their son offended mine, so now I can afford to jump on the Evans' head, dangle my legs and laugh. Thanks to their feeble-minded dick for the trick, it went into our hands. So what's the first thing you do? I'll act out the scene first, add some drama. At this time, my lawyers will evaluate our success and its failure. I'll charge the Evans around some, have them reimburse me as compensation, and then I'll continue to suck the juice out of them until I take everything. This is going to be revenge for Dick hitting Josh over some lowlife. I stood and listened to the dialogue of Josh's parents, managed to turn on the recorder and quietly escape. In the evening, I gave the recording to my father to listen to. And as you understand, we managed to build a defense before the attack. It saved our money, reputation, and image. Tell me, did you guys like my story? Write your opinion about it in the comments below the video. Do not forget to put likes, share the video with your friends, and subscribe to the channel.